Hi guys! So today we are asking for a daily tarot message for Wednesday, June 18th. What can we know for today? And it'll just be a message. We'll see what happens, whether it's love or career or both. And we'll do a 5-card spread with Lenormand. And we'll clarify with tarot. Great, let's see what happens. So what can we expect today? Aww. We have the heart, you guys, the signifier, that's you. The garden, the clouds, and the tower. Don't freak out, the tower is different in tarot than it is in Lenormand. It's not a bad card in the Lenormand. Kind of is in the tarot. A little bit. Shocking, right? Okay. There is a focus here on love and connections and relationships. It's almost like you are unclear about where this is headed or where something is headed. Like it's almost like there's a need or a desire or a want to solidify something, but you're kind of unclear on where it's headed or if it can solidify into something either long-lasting or something like good, productive, with a strong, sturdy foundation. There's a lot of sort of society is kind of in the middle, if that makes sense. So the garden talks about like social interactions. It talks about places, specifically public places that you go to have fun with people and to socialize, right? Whether that's community and hobbies and the groups that we sort of create to be able to connect with people, or it's actual places, the park and the garden. See, historically back in history, that's where people would go to, make connections, to be in community, whether it's courtship or anything like that. So it's possible here to read it. One way of reading this is if you're dating, there's someone specifically that you have in mind, but you're not really quite sure where it's headed, if it's headed to something committed and solid, or not. You're still kind of, I don't want to say of two minds about it exactly, but still not really quite sure. Like you haven't been able to fully grasp yet where this person stands or where you are, how you feel, or maybe where this person is at or how they feel about it. So let's get some clarification from the tarot. But there are feelings here. There's a desire here to make something work. If you're single and you don't have anyone specifically in mind, I think it's more along the lines of you are probably desiring something more solid and stable or more consistent, and you're having a difficult time finding that. You're not really quite sure how to go about doing that or getting that, or where you can find it. Like, do I try the apps or online, or do I join community groups, but I never meet anybody my age, or like what I'm interested outside of this one thing that I do. Or if you do have a specific hobby in mind, you meet all the wrong people there. So it's kind of like, well, now what do I do? I am out there and I'm meeting a ton of people, just not the right person for me. Yeah. I think there is, if you don't have a specific person in mind, it could be someone. If it is someone in mind, it could potentially be an earth sign here. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. If it isn't, you might, and it's other people I think aren't giving you what you want. Like it's almost like you have a specific standard or expectation and these people are falling short of that. Whether it's intellectually, financially, maybe they're not that funny, or maybe they don't laugh at your jokes. I fall in that category. Like, I don't like it when people don't laugh at my jokes. Not that I'm like super funny or hilarious, but if you don't laugh at my jokes, like this is not going to go anywhere. Like yeah, that's not going to work. I like to laugh, but I also like to make people laugh. So if you're not laughing at my jokes, you're cut off. So anyway, that's kind of what this feels like. Like they're kind of missing. They're missing you know what I mean? Like you're not connecting. You're kind of like, we're not at the same, not that you're not on the same level. And I hate to put it that way. Like you're like, you know, I would have to settle to go for you. That's what that sounds like. And I don't want to say like you're at a different level. It's just different. It's just not what you're into, maybe not what you're expecting. And you know, it's funny because sometimes it could be even a situation where these people on paper or like superficially are what you would go for or are what you like, but it's the inside, right? Like either their intellect or their conversation or what they're into or just kind of how they prioritize their life that aren't sort of matching up with the lifestyle that you have as well. This particular person that I'm reading for, like you, the viewer, you guys have a lot of passion inside of you, a lot of hopes and dreams, a lot of drive. And I think that you're sort of in this situation where you are being put in social settings where you're meeting just the wrong people, because that's what it feels like here. You might be in your element when you meet these people, but these people that you're meeting are not of your element. If that makes sense. They're not your tribe. So it's difficult to sort of create something from nothing. And this is sort of creating a little bit of a resistance here. In terms of like also a daily message side note, if this has to do with any kind of court system, because I'm getting that twice here, both in the Justice and the Tower, this can be court or work. You might be in the limelight a little bit. If it's at work and you haven't really been getting enough credit for the work that you've been putting in, you're highlighted today in some way. You're recognized or you're thanked for the good work that you do. If you actually do work for the courts or the court system, the judge, him or herself, might recognize your argument if you're an attorney or something like that along the lines, or, you know, give you some kind of kudos if you work in the courts or the court system. Any kind of like mediation service or consulting or anything like that. Or even like police. The police and the courts are like on your side on some kind of issue. So if you have any kind of issue, lawsuit, claim, complaint, anything like that, this organization is going to sort of find something in your favor. It may not be the entire thing, but it sort of listens and acknowledges your specific claims or concerns. That is what I'm getting. Okay, so let's get some clarification. Because see, they don't, the court doesn't maybe rule in your favor 100%, but takes into consideration a lot of the arguments that you made or a lot of the complaints that you had regarding whatever it is. It could be anything, right? A car accident, small claims court, an issue with someone else, anything like that. Or like I said, if you go up in front of the courts, if you're an actual attorney or work for the courts. Or just in general in work, like I said, you could be recognized. Okay, so we have as clarifiers the 10 of Wands, the 7 of Swords, the Chariot. Interesting, this deck isn't supposed to be upside down. The Tower again, and the 10 of Cups. So, like I said, you guys are a group of very passionate people. You have your baseline, your standards, your line for the bare minimum. And either people meet it or they don't. But you're moving forward no matter what. With momentum. It's momentum on top of momentum. Both the Chariot and the 8 of Wands are moving forward. There's a lot of sort of force and speed here. It's almost like despite all of this, these struggles that you've had in the past, I want to say sort of disappointments is how I want to put it. Despite all the disappointments you've had in the past and maybe the like shady, you know, sort of encounters you've had maybe, or the people that, you know, just don't really impress you. Because I think you want to be impressed. This feels like, hey, you know, you're giving someone an opportunity, you want to be impressed, and they always fall short. And so despite all of that, I think you still are moving forward. Also, there's something here about something that was meant to be a surprise ends up not being a surprise. And the reason I think it doesn't end up being a surprise, I think, is because you kind of already knew it. There was a whisper. There was a whisper in your mind that kind of already knew this was coming, whatever it is, this resolution or this new beginning or this like happy meeting or encounter or something like that. Happy moment. There's a happy moment that happens today. And while you want to say, oh, it was a surprise or I didn't expect it, down deep inside, there was a part of you that did or that does. And I think you know what I'm talking about. I think you already know what I'm talking about. If this is like a happy news related to an organization or something like that, you already know what this is. And it leads to something very, very positive for you. Very, very happy day. Any day that you get the 10 of Cups is an like very, very good day. It's like that song, like, today was a good day. Do you guys heard? Never mind. It's okay. If you guys don't get that reference, don't worry about it. Anyway, that's what I always hear in my head every time it's a good day. Yeah, today was a good day. So that's, I think, what you're going to walk away from. Walk away with. But let's get an advice card for your today. What is an advice card for today? Observer. Exactly. This totally goes along with this Queen of Wands energy, where it's kind of like, I don't want to say you're in a space where you're like, okay, impress me, and then like people fall short. But I think you're more of like being observant and being like in a passive sort of energy to take a look at what people really, you're listening to what people are saying and you're taking them for what they have to say, and you're hearing them because people tell you who they are. And you're that person that's going to listen. So I think this is going to be a very interesting day. I think that you're right to have your standards. And I think that whatever energies, whatever people around you are not meeting the standards, hey, that's what it is. But I think you're still going to move forward no matter what, despite all the, disappointments. This is a beautiful day, like I said. Whatever, if there's anything related to an organization, meaning your work, any kind of job, any kind of bank or hospital, court system, police, anything like that, it's going to rule in your favor. Any government agency, it's going to rule in your favor. It's going to be like they're going to take notice of you in some way. You're going to be, and at work, you're going to be recognized for something. Okay, so it turns out to be a really, really good day. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for tomorrow's daily. I'm going to be posting daily messages, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.